Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to the student of first year. I would like to congratulate all the new students who have got themselves admitted for the into the first year, Alim first year. I would like to welcome all the newcomers, students from various academic institutes from the far-flung areas in the Bashkali and other surrounding area. So we like to welcome all our newcomers students. Now we are going to teach from English first paper a lesson from Unit 2. Lesson 1. The captions of this lesson is the unforgettable history. Unforgettable history. We know that it is a long chapter, it is a long lessons. We have also taken some and a specific portion of this lesson to discuss in this class. Now I am reading some portion of this lesson. Especially this lesson includes the historic speech of the first President and the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, the Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. So this lessons is also part of these lessons of this his historic speech. Now I am reading some portion of this speech. Mr. Bhutto came here, he carried out our discussions with us, and he said that the doors of negotiations had not been closed, and there would be further negotiations. Now Bhutto, the leader of the oppositions in West Pakistan, the leader of PPP, Pakistan's People's Party, Mr. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, who had become the president of Pakistan after 1971, and he was one of the promoters of genocide in 1971. He was one of the prime figures who misguided the Pakistani regime to escort, to pursue, to commit such kind of mass slaughter and genocidal works in East Pakistan. So this man had come to Dhaka just to pursue negotiations with the ruling victorious party of Awami League. He said that he was always ready to pursue negotiations and further negotiation to resolve the deadlock resulted after the election held in 1970. And he said that, I then had talks with other leaders. I said to them, come and sit down with us. Let's create a constitutions for ourselves through discussions. Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman proposed that let us make a constitutions for the whole country through our mutual negotiations and amicable discussions. So ruling regime, the victorious party in the elections, Awami League, always wanted an amicable settlement to this problem. But the Pakistani regime was never ready to hand over their power to the newly victorious power, Awami League. They wanted to change the result of ballot with bullet. So the bloody battle between two nations, West Pakistan and East Pakistan, broke out in 1971. It is the important backdrop, important perspective of the 1971 battle that is also known as to a liberation war, independence battle, independence liberation war, that is also known. But Mr. Bhutto declared that the West Pakistani members came here, the assembly would end up as a slaughterhouse. He threatened all the members of the parliament in West Pakistan for not coming to East Pakistan. If they would come to the assembly will be turned into slaughterhouse, into a place of genocide. It is the threat of Mr. Bhutto. So, in this way, he claimed that whoever come here would be slaughtered. He said that if anyone showed up here, all shops from Peshawar to Karachi would be shut down. Because if the members of West Pakistan would come to East Pakistan's assembly, there would be negotiation and there would be possibility to find out a solution about handing over power to the victorious ruling party Awam League. But the West Pakistan regime, I are not agreed, I are not interested, I are not ready to hand over power to the Awam League, because they are interested, because they are inflexible to exploit these nations, to exploit the nation economically, politically, in all other sides. So a deadlock created between two states, two nations. March assembly, but suddenly the assembly was prorogued, but the assembly was suspended. The suspension of assembly was one of the core part of their grievous conspiracy against the East Pakistan, because the West Pakistan are not interested to hand over their power to the newly victorious political party. So, in these lessons, we have got some important words. Now we are going to discuss some words with antonym and synonym. Prorogue. Prorogue means suspend. Synonym, antonym, continue. To sin and to continue. Continue. And we also get our some words, that is assembly. Assembly means meeting. Assembly, meeting. We also get meeting. Its antonym may be disassemble. Assemble. Another word, slaughter. Slaughter means kill. Save. Antonym may be save. So all the students must try to learn and understand new vocabs, new vocabulary, just to comprehend the new comprehensions, because we will be able to collect new words, new vocabs through our continuous reading. But without reading, any comprehension, any precise, none will be able to gather essential vocabs and vocabulary. So, if you read some new unseen text, then this until text will bring some new vocabs, new words unknown to you. And then you will be able, then you will try to guess the meaning of these words, to understand the meaning of these words. So, only reading of new unseen comprehension will enable students to gather new vocabs. It is the only way, only effective way. So, I like to urge, I like to call all the students to read newspapers, magazine, and unseen text, books, novels, every new horizons. And this environment and this text will enable him to enrich his collection of vocabs. So, only reading dictionary and other sources will not be helpful unless one student continues his reading. The reading is the only driving force of our enriching vocabs and knowledge of new language. As English is a new language, so we must be interested, we must be serious to gather new vocabs. Let it be antonym, let it be synonyms. It is collected and it is gathered through our continuous efforts. We'll also read some words. Observe. Observe. Keep. Maintain. And its antonym may be decline. Decline. And you will deny. Antonyms mean negative, synonym means positives. There are also some few remarkable, considerable words. That is oppressed. Oppressed means suppressed. Free. Oppressed means what the victim of, who have become the victim of injustice. That's antonym will be free. Now let us read the text again, because there are some important messages in this text. But suddenly, on the 1st of March, the assembly was shut down. But it is a tragic news for the people of East Pakistan, because the assembly was suddenly shut down. Beforehand, I said that it was one of the great part of their pre-concerted conspiracy, of their political machinations. The assembly was shut down. Mr. Yahya Khan called the session of assembly in his capacity as the president, and I declined. Mr. Yahya Khan called the assembly on his capacity as the president of Pakistan, but the Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, he declined. He declared that I would be attending if Mr. Bhutto, but Mr. Bhutto said he wouldn't be part of this assembly. Mr. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman is ready to participate in the meeting, in the proceeding of assembly, but on the other hand, Mr. Bhutto, the leader of the West Pakistan's People's Party, who is the People's Party have also become victorious in the West Pakistan, and Awam League had become victorious in East Pakistan. But as the leader of victorious party in the West Pakistan, Mr. Bhutto declined to participate in this program. So, at the antagonistic position, contradictory position of the two victorious leaders in the two states, in two sides, have also brought a stalemate condition. So, 35 members of the assembly came from West Pakistan to take part in the proceeding, but it was dissolved all of a sudden. 35 members of this committee of the assembly from West Pakistan came to participate in the proceeding of the assembly, but this assembly was suddenly shut down. It came as the blue from the sky. So the people of Bangladesh are a thunderbolt at the news of shutting down the assembly catastrophically, suddenly, without any prior notice. That is the beginning of new bloody struggle, of the bloody confrontation between two sides, between two opposing sides, opposing political fractions. So, 35 members of the assembly came from the West Pakistan to take part in the proceeding, but it was dissolved. What is the dissolve? Dissolve means disband. Disband. And its antonym will be unify. Unify. Disband, dissolve, break down. All words may be synonymous in expressions and connotations. So, the people of East Pakistan, after the assembly session was prorogued, the people of country protested. The people of East Pakistan, they had started protesting such kind of undue and unjust decisions of the ruling Pakistani regime. They had come to the street in agitation and demonstrations to express their discontent, to express their anger and frustrations over the decision of the ruling Pakistani regime of disbanding, of dissolving the sessions without notice. So the problem aggraved. The gravity of the problem increased more than before. The gravity of the problem increased more than before. I told them, observe the general strike, and we have called peacefully. Then Awam League called the general strike countrywide. They have called the strike countrywide in protesting the unjust decision of the ruling Pakistan regime to subjugate the rising nations of East Pakistan. I told them, shut down all mills and factory. Then Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the Bangabandhu, called all countrymen to shut down all mills and factories. Our people responded to my call, and they came to streets spontaneously. New words, that is spontaneously. We should know what is the meaning of word spontaneously. Spontaneously means spontaneously means naturally. And its antonym, forcibly. So, the people of the country, came to the street spontaneously, naturally, instinctively, automatically. They have come to protest. They come to stand against this decision of the ruling West Pakistani regime. So, our people shut down all mills and factories. Our people responded to my call. All the people of East Pakistan responded to the call of the leader, Bangabandhu. That is the introduction. That is the beginning of the struggles of the Great War, 1971. It is the beginning. It is the starting point, crucial point. So, our people responded to my call, and they came to the street spontaneously. They expressed their firm determination to carry out a struggle peacefully, and they have expressed their determination to carry out their struggle for the ultimate liberation from the subjugation of the West Pakistan, and to liberate them from all kinds of exploitations, all kinds of oppression and injustice meted out to this countrymen by the Western regime. So they have come out spontaneously to carry out their struggle, to continue their sacrifice for this great purpose, that is independence, that is freedom, that is liberation. So, in this way, but we have, what we have got in return, what have we got from this oppressive and suppressive Western Pakistan's unjust regime? Those who brought arms with our money to defend us from the external enemies now are being used against the poor people and the rest. The downtrodden people of Bangladesh, bullets are being aimed to the hearts. We constitute the majority of Pakistan. We are the majority of Pakistan, but we are being suppressed. This majority is being suppressed and repressed by the minority. Minority is ruling the majority. How can we accept these unjust conditions, unjust perspective? Now, whenever Bengalis have tried to assume power, they have used force against us. Whenever we have risen to the occasion to liberate ourselves, to rise to any occasion, they have used force just to suppress the rising force, the rising tendency, the rising mentality, the rising aptitudes of these new nations. So, it is this is the synopsis of the present speeches. It is the part of a speech of our great leader, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. So, for this, we have come to end our class. Right? Good.